don't give a fuck, bruh. Fuck it with me, hell.
You almost got me fucked up. I'm taking LSD and Adderall, heroin and alcohol. Xanax stop my panic, smoking DMT and Marlboro. Baking soda, Coca-Cola, Molly dropping, taking tokes. Speedballs killing friends of mine, my veins is gone, but I'm alive. I'm fucking sucking on a pipe, years and decades off my life, but I don't care, we all gon' die. My spirit leaves, I'm gonna fly up to heaven, ask him why didn't you make better shit? Pouring cocaine on a tit while a bitch is sucking dick. Well, that might be enough for you, and that might be enough for him. I need more highs than pharmacies or kitties on a jungle gym. I wanna get so fucking high, I cannot see out of my eyes, I cannot feel my fucking thighs. All I wanna be is numb, I see right through you fucking gone. Cannot hear a thing you say, it doesn't matter anyway, cause I can't see your fucking face. Melting all the fuck away, falling on the ground today. I'm hearing sirens, are they lions? What the fuck, they coming for me? Ah! What up? Ah, they're coming for me. Welcome, everybody. I'm your host, Monumente Reme. This is Dangerous Thoughts, where we dive down deep in the rabbit hole and we find all sorts of creepy things. We also talk about things that are important to the world. This is my co-host, Tyson Strasberg. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, now I'm over here. I'm over here. There we go.
All right, we got.
Are you going to tell us about that song you wrote opening the show? You wrote that in Sunday school, right? You were telling me.
Yeah, I did write that in Sunday school, all about what I was up to in Sunday school when I was a kid. Yeah. I also am wearing a dress tonight. Look at that. Huh? Okay. So tonight's show is about taking drugs and wearing dresses, and no. Tonight's show is all about we're going to have a discussion with Owen Cotter from Sci-Fiction. Sci-Fiction is a mega huge cool scifiction.com. Go check them out, watch their videos. You'll hear a bunch from Owen tonight about what he's doing over there. But we're going to discuss science fiction and how much of science fiction, how much of the stuff that we watch on TV and in the movies is actual little peeks at what reality really is, or from another viewpoint, how much of old science fiction has come to be reality. We'll talk a little bit about that, and we'll talk about our basically unstoppable, as Tyson referred to it as, the unstoppable future of AI and what it's going to be living like in that environment in the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 60, 80 years. I don't know if I'll make it another 80 years, unless they come up with all the fake organs, fake or avatars for us, and we can download our brains, right? Wouldn't that be nice?
I definitely am going to need a new body at some point soon. You know, I gave up smoking. I started walking. I started exercising. I did everything you're supposed to do. And you know what happened? I got older.
Yeah. Oh, that's so true. It's so hard. Yeah, getting old is one of those things in life that sucks. Plain and simple. That's what my mother says. So here we go. Oh, Katie, 'tis quite amazing all the devices from sci-fi that have been made into reality. Yeah, that's the whole idea of this program. It is. I think that writers and artists in a very big way create the future when they come up with really cool concepts in science fiction and any literature. I think people pick up that concept and they dream about it, and then they make it into reality. I also think that's how reality works. I think human beings very much, we don't give ourselves enough credit for the amazing things that we discover and or create. Right now, I want to bring on our guest speaker tonight. His name is Owen Cotter. He is one of the kings over at Sci-Fiction. Here's a little montage of the work that he does around the world at conventions and interviewing people all over the place at conventions and behind the scenes at movies and television, etc. There he is, Owen.
Hey, what's up?
Owen Cotter, what's up, brother?
Doing good. How's y'all evening going? So you got the cups.
Dangerous Thoughts.
Yeah.
Because we
in Pacific.
Oh, there's Dougie Jones. There's my buddy Dougie Jones.
Doug Jones, yes, and he has to do the shout out to our show too. It's pretty cool. We're gonna
Right on.
Yeah, he's cool, dude.
Yeah, probably the coolest. I think of all actors in the world that I can think of, there's nobody nicer than Doug Jones. In fact, Doug Jones is if his schedule permits, is a part of Star Crew, a big part of it.
That'd be awesome.
So we really want him to play the part of Logic. He's signed an LOI, but he's so in demand lately. We just hope we get him when we end up shooting. Is that Glasner? Who is that?
That was Greg Grunberg from Star Wars and Star Trek.
Grunberg. Okay.
He's cool, dude. You ever met him?
Yeah. No.
He's super nice, dude. He's cool, dude.
And that's Leonardo.
Yeah, it's me eating some pizza with him and with a sword or something. Wolverine business.
Wolverine. I love these guys.
Does not look like Hugh. What's his name? But yeah,
that is not. It's not Hugh Jackman. A good costume.
Hugh Jackman.
I'm always blown away at cons by the amount of untapped talent that is available in the wardrobe and prop world. Some of the props that you see there are better than things you see on TV. And these people are making them at home and bringing them to conventions instead of getting paid the big bucks to make them for stage and screen. And I think there should be like some sort of,
talent scout. They're at Comic-Con, right?
Yeah, like a wardrobe talent scout for the big agencies that goes around and taps people on the shoulder. How'd you make this? How'd you make that? Hey, there's Matt Damon. Look at you looking all young with Matt. That looks like 10 years ago or something.
Yeah, there's a story behind that. I actually played in the World Series of Poker with all those guys. This is the Premier Headliner tournament. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. You got like all the poker pros and you got the actors.
Poker wannabes.
Oh,
I
the
love
pros.
that picture of Matt Damon. That's back before he looked straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. What I mean by wannabes is there's also the poker wannabes are there as well.
Oh yeah, there's a few, but most of this was you can only get on there. Well, you have to have the sponsorship too. I'm not gonna pay that kind of.
yeah, right. Did you play?
Yeah, I played with them.
Yeah.
I played with them, and I went all in on the first hand. Matter of fact, with pocket aces, and won.
Oh man,
the guy on the right was Howard Lederer, the owner of Full Tilt Poker, man.
Now I thought you were going to say I went in on with all aces right away, and I was out of the tournament.
No, I was in. I had quad aces. Great. That's crazy.
Wow, you hit quads on your first all in,
like all triple or quads. Yeah, that's badass.
Brett Michaels, that's Brett Michaels, I think.
That's when we introduced them for Rock of Love tour out in Texas.
I couldn't tell if it was Brett or Barbie, but it is Brett. Brett Michaels is cool. He's just beautiful. He's had so much. I want to know who his face cutting guy is because I'm gonna cut my face someday, and I need somebody good. Sure. Yeah. What's this here? Texas Energy.
This was a event, Super Bowl pre-party, and Kevin Costner's band was playing there. A big Super Bowl party. Yeah.
I was at a film festival recently. Oh, Space Command, Mark Zachary's Space Command.
That's at the red carpet premiere down there. We're doing that as well.
Big props to that guy for putting out all that great content on YouTube and that high big budget content on YouTube and keeping that project going with Kickstarter and releasing that kind of stuff. I don't think people really understand out there how difficult it is to produce that quality of science fiction and then have it given to the masses for free like that, just for the money that people put in. He's done an incredible job at that show. I hope it gets picked up someday. It'd be an even better show.
Probably his goal, if I had to guess. I talked to him recently about it. He kind of alluded to that he's trying to get it set up to at least shop it around or something like that.
Yeah, I mean it's a really cool concept, bringing back Space Command from the old days, and with a writing team and the right bucks and the right producer, that could be a kick-ass show. And it's already good on YouTube. So, all right. So let's get into what we're talking about tonight. Oh, the man.
Manly.
Yeah, it's going to be hard I'm going to keep trying to get to the topic, and I'm going to see people. Stan the Man was so cool. There's another guy like Doug Jones, just a really
That's Alan Bellman right there. He's the creator. I mean, he drew Captain America for time.
Oh, cool.
Super
cool.
nice guy.
And Stan I mean, come on, man. That guy was multi-bucks, and just was the kindest. Would take the time to sit and listen and talk to anybody. Just never let that. I love when you meet a celebrity or you meet a hero of yours that hasn't let the ego of Hollywood get to their head. And Stan was one of those guys.
I have to tell you a little story about that meeting. When we left that meeting with him, there was a young kid in a wheelchair going through the lobby, and he was with his whole, attache's whole entourage. And he stopped. The kid happened to be wearing a Marvel comic shirt, and he stopped and says, "Hey, my name's Stan. How you doing, son?" And the kid, he took a picture with his phone, and he walked away and said bye. And then the kid started breaking down crying. And that's Stan Lee, man.
Yeah, man.
Genuine, the true thing. He's a very true. Everything you've heard he's the real deal. So.
Oh, he sure is. He sure is. I mean, he was. He took the time to hear my pitch about this Star Crew back in the day. It was 5-6 years ago.
Oh wow!
And he was like, "I want to be in it."
Kid,
yeah,
we should make a something with him, like the tribute to him or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. Put him on a billboard or something. See if we can get the rights from his whoever owns them.
Like kind of like really... a cyberpunk sci-fi, kind of like advertising, Atari, Stan Lee, Coca-Cola.
Or make him the king of the Zombot Corporation or something.
That'd be cool.
He loved doing those little cameos in all those Marvel movies. He liked it a lot. All right, so science fiction in general. What do you think about this? Let's go down the rabbit hole. Okay. Science fiction in general, the movies that you're watching today, how much of it do you think is like them preparing us for giving us a little peek at what reality really is, or preparing us for a further disclosure of what reality really is on this planet?
Probably about 75.
What is this kid doing? What is this kid doing on Dangerous Thoughts? What is this kid doing on Dangerous Thoughts? This is an adult TV show. You can't watch this show. You can't listen to this show. Oh, he just ran into my... Oh, he's dead. Yeah. All right. That's all right. It's only like the third kid we've killed on the program. We're all right. All right. So what do you mean? 75%? You think 75% of it is reality?
Probably more than that. I mean, you got to look at the trajectory of like over the last 50 to 100 years, you've had technology that was like, we were barely even in electrical engines and all that. Now you've got like cell phones and all this stuff. And you got, gadgets and computers and everything in silicon boards. I got these, you're trying to get into like the Chappie Elysium era where there's these robots that, companies like, Boston Dynamics or whatever have, I got to see one of those. I told you the story. I told you about that, man, about seeing those in action. Those damn dogs, man. I just take a
scary
in action. It's creepy, man.
When you're
very creepy.
Living in LA, when you go to parking structures now, like Santa Monica, the security robots are on wheels, security robot cops, and they follow you from your car to the elevator and back, making noises and shit. It's like
they have little robots like that. Wow.
Yeah, security. So what happened? Security robots. They also have robots that are delivering like submarine sandwiches and Dominoes and shit. That
delivery bots
slowly make their way down the street. It's horrible. It's terrifying. Because a human being should be carrying that pizza and getting paid for it. Sorry.
In the past 2,000 years, our evolution of technology was very, very modest, right? So if you probably, if you were out in the world in, I don't know, 1100 AD or 1300 AD, and you were just walking around looking at buildings, I'm not sure you would know what century you were in. Right. Not much technological evolution. A little bit of one in the 1800s. We got electricity, the telegraph, the steam locomotive, modest. Right. But in the 20th century, I mean, it is so exponentially. I mean, if we were going up on a little scale, and then we hit the year 1900 with whoop, it how did that happen?
And yet,
how do we just whoop?
Maybe like they reverse engineer some Roswellian technology, and everything's now from the future or from some other realm or something. So you look, like you said, the technology is like that, man. It's just like
right.
And yet we're still driving the same shit that we were driving 100 years ago.
Pretty much.
Fossil fuel burning cars, right?
Yeah.
And you're telling me they could put man on the moon in 1969, but they couldn't make an electric vehicle that would go 200 miles
But
until
maybe it's like
2023.
it could be like that movie Arrival with Charlie Sheen, where they're terraforming the Earth. That's why they keep the fossil fuels up, so you can deplete the planet, pollute it, trash it, and terraform it to whatever. Or
oxygen is poison to most things. Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, I would love to blame it on aliens. And that brings me to the most recent thing that I watched that I was like, oh, they're telling us the truth. They're giving us a little peek. Right. And it was Secret Invasion on Disney.
Oh, yeah.
And Secret Invasion, if you watch that opening, the opening credits,
it's all AI art, by the way.
Yeah, and it's AI art, and it's very much like little peeks at the powers of the world. You get London, you get, and you also get that the powers of the world are actually behind a darker force called these things called the Skrulls that are making all the wars happen around Earth, and they're in human suits, or they're not in human suits. The Skrulls can transform themselves to look human. But I think
reminded me of those murals in Denver International Airport a little bit.
Oh, right. They're very similar. To if you've never been to Denver International, it is absolutely the Illuminati airport of the world. It is terrifying.
It is.
There's so much weird art in there, and
there's also bases underneath that beyond what they have.
They go
way down, dude.
Look, we're doing the show right now from Colorado Springs, and NORAD's right behind us in this mountain back here.
Oh, yeah.
And I actually met a kid recently. I probably shouldn't say his name, and I won't, but that got a peek inside the facility. And he said that the elevators in there could literally carry semi-trucks, tanks, helicopters, and that those elevators went down in the mountain. And if you see the entrance that they show the public, it's down at the bottom of the mountain.
Right.
So it not only goes into the mountain, but it goes down like, who knows how many floors.
Just like in Stargate, Manu. Just like in Stargate.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, the DARPA and the Black Ops world has so much secret shit. I know that we have at least the ability at this point, after 100 years, we should have free energy machines to drive.
I was actually watching. When you mentioned, I was watching this thing on Tesla the other night, and it talked about how he had this big antenna he built and like plugged it into the ground. He was trying to build a network of those to have free wireless energy without having to wires or cables.
Yeah, Nikola Tesla, and that was Wardcliffe Tower. Tower, I think.
Yep.
1902, Tesla and this farmer had all these mini versions of that plugged into the ground, actually sucking energy out of the vacuum or out of the energy of
over
Earth.
a mile it worked.
And they were running this guy's farm on all these free power batteries stuck into the ground in 1902. So you're telling me we haven't? It's fucking 2023 right now. We haven't
120 years later.
120 years later, and we don't have
JP Morgan shut that shit down with the quickness because why? Free electricity can't be monetized. Free.
No.
Yeah,
they want to charge for it.
No.
But could you imagine if the people rallied and we got like 1 million man march on all these facilities, and we actually could see and get these free energy machines out there? You could desalinate water. You could feed the people. You could stop terraforming by accident the planet for the Skrulls. You could do so much. It would end hunger. It would end poverty. And of course, the powers that be that control the elite modern world don't want that at all. And if you look back at the history, there's actually a really good movie, and I was telling people to watch it last week, but I'm gonna plug it again. It's called Our Lost Century and How to Retrieve It by Dr. Stephen Greer. Absolutely look that up. Even pay the $5 if you have to. It's
Stephen Greer. Is that a new movie?
Yeah, it's a new movie, and it's basically a documentary about the 200 plus scientists that he has actual physical real evidence on that have created some type of free energy machine that have been bought out, murdered, etc. There's 15 ways that the powers that be shut down any scientist that comes up with anything that could that could make this kind of change in the world, they bury it. The patent office doesn't let it get patented. They have all these techniques. But that movie is fascinating. And he even gets into, at the end of that movie, alien vehicles and that's
right, because Tesla was talking about creating vehicles using kind of like the grid of all these towers to be able to coast across that.
Mm-hmm. If we would have let Tesla have his way instead of J.P. Morgan and who was the other guy, the G&E guy?
Oh God, Carnegie,
not Carnegie.
Dale Carnegie, Tesla, J.P. Morgan, Edison, and
Edison.
Edison
Was one of the bad guys back then, teaming up with the big money.
Thomas Alva Edison.
So that was the most recent thing I saw. I said, okay, Secret Invasion. Maybe they're even letting us know that aliens are behind all of it. Now, I also saw a recent video that we shared on this show like 3 weeks ago of the $100 bill. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the $100 bill, the blue hundreds that we have right now, there are three, count them, 3 gray aliens hidden in our $100 bills. Why on earth would they do that?
If you origami it a certain way, but I can also make George Washington's head into a mushroom. So, the eye sees what it wants.
Tyson, you don't have to origami this stuff. You just have to put a microscope or a magnifying glass on it. Right. They're straight up there.
You're saying it's fully in there.
Yeah, it's in there. I checked.
They're just chilling inside the bill, man.
Right in the purple strip. Look in the purple strip with the magnifying glass. You'll find a little gray alien. Yeah,
Not that I walk around with money in my pocket like this, but
not that I walk around with all this dangerous thoughts money.
Yeah, Manu doesn't pay me very well.
I'm not an alien. I don't have the big bucks.
That's right.
Wait, Manu's paying you?
The aliens, man.
Was that a secret?
Like that movie They Live, man. When they go down that little portal thing, and they're like, they're here. They run the whole show. And
hey, welcome to the show. Welcome. I didn't know you guys had tickets, man. I didn't know you joined. Enjoy the buffet. They live. They live. John Carpenter. It's funny that you bring that up, Owen, because I always you remind me of that guy. that they run into and they live when they actually get on the alien base, and he's one of the elite, and he's like, hey, what's up guys?
I was wondering when you guys was gonna show up.
Yeah, you sold out too, get something to eat. Oh man,
that movie's a really powerful film, man. If you take away even just the base, the structure, because you got the guy played by Roddy Piper, his name's John Nada John Nobody. So he's kind of like this just generic guy. He's kind of set in the Reagan era, a little Reaganomics, but basically he's out of work. He's trying to find work, and he just kind of falls into this whole new, like he finds out what's going on for real, I highly recommend that movie. That movie's amazing.
Oh,
speaking of science fiction, is the I-15 a real thing? I mean, I ordered mine 3 weeks ago when the damn thing came out, and it's still on back order. I think they're still inventing it, and it's not really real yet because
Roswellian technology is being reverse engineered.
I think the I-143 is ready, but
it's gonna be a hologram or something. You just like push the buttons.
They just slowly give us stuff. Oh, platinum case this time.
Here's a question: Does sci-fi inspire reality? In other words, is the flip phone inspired by Star Trek's communicator, or is it the other way around? Does technology or science influence science fiction, or is it circular?
I think it's both ways.
Cyclical. It kind of goes both ways.
It probably does. I mean, we all go both ways, right?
I don't.
But I think what I think it is both ways, because like if you look at science fiction, it predicts or tries to present a future that could be. If you look at technology, it wants to evolve to that future. So
and it very, very often catches up with what these movies are talking about, which is pretty amazing. I mean, you can think of countless, what's it called? Countless. Tyson, help me with my vocabulary. I'm sorry. But 'tis quite obvious from the tech.
Where's my telekinesis? Tell us something or other.
So Katie
I've
says,
had one
I'm sorry.
first too many.
Yes, that happens too. They keep us sedated. I'm sorry, but it's quite obvious from the tech evolution of the 20th century that there has been some form of intervention, whether we're willing to help or tech was found or reverse engineered. In World War II, they were seeing these things called Foo Fighters, beautiful lights that were aircraft of some sort. I think they were aliens watching World War II, just observing, because that's what these UAPs seem to be doing. They seem to be observing and giving us little messages like nuclear power, man, don't mess with that shit.
Oppenheimer was making that stuff over there, so you had the probably monitor. Did you ever hear the story?
You know what I think happened? I'm sorry, but I think a Foo Fighter went down, and I think the Germans found it, and that's what that whole De Glocke project of reverse engineering the bell, because the Germans had
the bell that was spinning and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was an anti-gravity aircraft that the Germans were working on towards the end of the war.
Very end, yeah.
Well, I don't know if it was an aircraft or if it was a time machine or a spaceship or maybe some all of that. You know, it used spinning mercury, which we know is a superconductor, and that stuff does weird things at weird temperatures. I really don't know. The Philadelphia experiment was supposedly based on a real thing, but then it was debunked. But then other people say no, it was real.
Oh, no.
So,
do y'all hear about the story of the guy that was at the park with his daughter, and when they developed this way before digital or Adobe Photoshop. And they developed the Polaroid photo, and it's him and his daughter in some like silvery like looking figure in the background. The next day, he gets a knock on the door. There's two guys, like Men in Black, kind of weird looking guys, that refer to themselves as not letters but numbers. They say, "We want you to take us to where you took this picture." They go back to the spot, and they say, "Okay, where was the other person in the background of this picture?" Turns out, a few years later, and up in that time, they're getting ready to test the nuclear warhead. And they had to abort the test very close to where that picture was taken in the same town. And they said because there was two individuals or people that looked in silver suits that were on the tarmac and they had to abort the test.
Whoa, weird, man. And there has been way too many Men in Black type of things. I mean, I just watched that show Encounters, which people should also watch on Netflix. It's a Steven Spielberg Amblin Entertainment show. About abductions, aliens, this whole idea of UAPs and what they want, where how much they actually control or have any influence in our reality. Good show.
Did you see the Dan Aykroyd's got his own story about that too, by the way. His UFO show.
Dan Aykroyd is a big UFO guy, and they keep him shut up. I mean, he's really into it. He had a show and it got canceled.
He had a show, and he was telling a story about how he was on the phone with Lauren Michaels or something. He was getting ready to go host Saturday Night Live, and he looked down the street. And it was like, it's a one-way street, and he saw this black sedan there with a guy, and the guy was looking straight at him. He looked away for a brief second. The car was gone. Barely even a few seconds.
Aykroyd's a huge believer in aliens and UAPs. Also, in this show, Encounters, this woman and this other woman see this flying thing over over Ireland that actually disappears, and this island opens up and the flying craft disappears into the island, and then it closes.
The Spielberg show.
Yeah, the Spielberg show. And both women saw it from a different point on the coast, but they were on the phone at the same time. And at the same time, they get a knock on their door from these two twins that look identical, that are like, you didn't see anything.
Very weird looking people. They don't look exactly humanoid either.
Yeah, these Men in Black are probably something else. Who knows what they are? I think they're probably aliens with human suits.
Probably. Or something.
Yeah. But why would they be trying to shut? Like, I really think they might be G-men because,
just straight up weird.
Yeah, because the idea is if there are aliens, I believe there are, and if there is evidence of this, if there's technology of this, and it falls outside of the government, so falls on somebody's ranch in 47 Roswell, and they go and collect everything, and they say, okay, you're going to shut up about this. You're not going to tell anybody about this. You're not going to tell anybody what you heard, what you saw. I mean, they show up to do that because they want to keep up this stigma of, if you believe in UFOs and you're a nut. And they can't do it if legitimate people come out, people in good standing in the community come out and say, yeah, I saw one. So they go shut these people up.
And what a better way than to send like a 1920s or a 1940s automobile with a couple of bald twins that have their eyebrows shaved. It scared the crap out of me. I wouldn't say anything if somebody like that showed up my door and told me to shut up.
And those that won't shut up find that they've been in horrible accidents.
Yeah.
Oh, this person died suddenly of a heart attack. Has been healthy as an ox. This person died in a car accident. This person. Did you see the whole JFK? Like all the witnesses before they could get the witnesses all had these just astonishing accidents.
Astonishing death.
Well,
Yes.
you want to know who killed JFK? So my grandfather, he used to treat this guy. Let's flash forward the clock. He used to treat Lyndon B. Johnson for bar fights, and he would get in trouble. I'm assuming get a call late at night because LBJ would get in trouble in these bar fights.
Lyndon, I want to drop some information on you.
Pretty much. Well, his buddy they would call was a guy named Roy, his best friend Roy. And my grandfather was in the U.S. Medical Services. Eventually got to make a colonel. But him and his business partner were surgeons, so they go in there and patch him up and keep him out of the papers. The guy that brought him in, his buddy Roy, he was actually a United States Army sniperist military guy. So flash forward Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. His buddy, LBJ's buddy, used to bring him to the bar fights. His name was Roy S. Truly. Guess where he was that day? He was the head of the Texas School Book Depository and Lee Harvey Oswald's boss. So my grandfather says, that sounds like a Truly shot. Calls up and gets bounced around all these different lines. Somebody picks up and says, Mr. Kinzer, Mr. Cotter, we cannot guarantee your safety. We beg of you to drop the subject. Click. And there you go.
There you go. This is your grandfather?
Yeah, my grandfather, Clement
Holy
Patrick,
moly, man. I've had a couple conversations with Owen, and I wasn't going to make him drop them on this program because I don't want him to get shot, or poisoned or whatever else. Owen committed suicide. Yeah.
Jeez, I hope not.
That's one of the ways they do it,
Right.
So SciFiction had its you told me this story.
Oh yeah, I'd love to tell this story.
SciFiction. Yeah, tell it, man. Go ahead.
So here's the deal. Let's flash forward the clock. 2020, January, February, March, about two.
That would be rewind the clock. You
rewind the clock, right? So I went to visit an associate of mine who's now completely gone, pretty much off the grid, and he's gone. Nobody's heard from him really much. His name was Bryant McGill. He ran McGill Media.
Oh, I didn't know you were going to say his name.
Oh, he's big. Everybody knows his name. He's no longer around. Nobody's heard from him. He's probably like living somewhere recluse or something. Who knows? Anyway, so the reason I brought the name up was, so I went to visit him. He no longer is there. He knows where he's at. But when we got there, about 2 months in, our SciFiction was on the same servers as his network. Okay. So when we got in there, about 2 months in, somewhere in there, we get a call. And this guy who's a associate, this guy wants to come over and show him something. And that's when he brought those yellow robot dogs, those Boston Dynamics things that look like, like
the
something
things
from
they look like from Black Mirror,
yeah,
but
it's
not
just
quite as badass.
definitely not something you commonly see in your house, like a common object for sure. No. Anyways, so these robot dogs, like he leaves about shortly after the entire network gets hacked and destroyed to the knees. All the passwords, every computer was bit locked to the core of the CPU or whatever. And then we tried to buy everything from laptops to cell phones, anything and everything to fix it. Nothing would work. We probably spent, I know I spent a lot, but basically the computers, the phones, because you have the social media that goes to authentication, all locked out immediately, bit locked and everything. So it turns out that guy was in control of the servers using a Microsoft Azure account that was puppeting in control of the actual servers where McGill Media and SciFiction were on. Same similar hacking thing that was used on the MGM Grand Hotels if you look in their public statement. So they use this Azure technology to get control of the server that my site and his site were on. We have proof of that.
And he had a server farm as well, right?
What's that?
Well, he had multiple server farms, or he had a
well,
server.
he had a server with he had his company site, and he had his his main, all his other stuff was social media. He was his main site. His wife had a site, and he had a site that was connected together. And then SciFiction was on the same server system. So I actually noticed what happened because there was some, and they came through illegally using Google AdSense, aggressive ad hijacking. So, and we talked to some people that said that Google said sounded like straight out of a Tom Clancy novel. They seemed to think that they were using maybe crypto or something, funneling up to maybe 9 figures or more out of the country. And they imploded his company, damn near almost destroyed mine. Took me about since 2021 to 2023 to get it all back online. Just that and the social media and everything else. So it's been pretty big toll. So there you go.
Yeah, and so the back also
Yeah.
like in those couple of years, you told me that the guy tried to destroy one of his server farms or tried to dig up one of his.
Okay, that's another thing. So when we're at the house he was staying at, he took the fight. It was one of those neighborhoods that had the fiber
optic cables,
fiber connection for the internet and all shit. So basically, he goes in there and the back of the house, one of those AT&T modules, where he just took it and slashed it off with an axe to the whole thing. Dug a hole for about 4 or 5 feet, buried it. Next morning, brand new thing installed, all hooked back together. I saw it with my own eyes. Also, the next door neighbor, about a month later, 3 weeks later, started just randomly doing work on their house. Put some siding with a team of 20 contractors. And he saw them laying wires underneath and putting the siding back on. They're hooking something up there, man. How many people putting in some siding and a little bit of roof work need like a dozen or two contractors working like all day long, every day?
Yeah.
And the person across the street or is on the roof working on their plumbing.
On the roof working on their plumbing.
That's what they said. They're working on plumbing. They're on the roof all day long.
That's funny. And you also, I mean, I'm sorry, but I brought the story up. You went with it. The guy also, this McGill guy, right? Also thought that his life was definitely in danger at some point, right? You said he was walking in a place. I don't know what it was.
Yeah. So he had gone to see the guy that was the guy with the robots, the yellow Boston Dynamics robots, and he went up to his crib, which was maybe a famous Shark Tank football owning former penthouse up there. There's that. And he went in the elevator, and it just happened to be his daughter called. He was lucky because they're like, you're never going to get a signal in here. These guys were circling like mercenaries looking guys. Goes upstairs, talks to the guy, and the guy says, hey, why don't you go down in the dark basement in the garage and get some beer out of my car? And he got the hell out of there.
And he got in the elevator, and the Mercs got in there with him, right? And then his daughter got in. He got out on the next.
Well, his
floor.
daughter was on the phone with him, and they barely get a signal. Luckily, he seemed to think they were going to off him there from that. Also, there's another little kind of a junk piece to that. So when the president of the United States was getting elected back before Biden, he had a brilliant gentleman who was a social media whiz. An expert. He maybe was like 30s, 40s. I don't know who the guy's name was, but he was working with teams. So if you ever go on when he got elected and they sent out the letter to all the people that were thanking them for voting, there's a link to a newsletter. If you click that, guess where it goes? Went to Alex Jones's website, and happened to be that Alex Jones was directly responsible in conjunction with getting Trump elected. And my buddy may have been with him as well as on that. But I do know for a fact when he was elected, he was, he wanted to run for president himself to help the country.
That's why they squashed him, right?
Yeah,
because
so he was in he was in Alex Jones's hot tub with Roger Stone watching Trump get elected that night when it got done. And he himself announced he wanted to run. Within 1 week later, everything was destroyed.
Yeah.
So I didn't tell him or have anything to do with any of that stuff. But I'm like, man,
you just happen to have your simple
on the same damn server.
Yeah. Your little, cute. Hey, we're just watching sci-fi movies and reviewing them and having fun and causing no problems. Happen to be on this guy's servers. Yeah. It's a great story, and the fact that he's missing and on a
wherever he is, I mean, he's somewhere out there. Somebody updates his Facebook pages and social media. But if you look at the recent stuff, it's no longer him. It's like stuff about AI and computers and DNA reprogram, all kind of wild stuff, man.
So it was. Yeah, so it was probably, if he was announcing his intention to run for president backed by billionaires during Trump's run, and he's and tied into this Cambridge Analytica Trump win.
That's all, yeah.
Yeah, that's a big bundle of dark ops creepiness. All right, so we'll exit that. And so we were also going to talk about the future of AI and show off a little bit of what you do over at SciFiction.
Yes.
So let's start with a little video.
Max Headroom goodness.
Yeah, go check out SciFiction.com. Also, if you want to talk to us later on in the show, make sure to write at Subscript Pirate at X on X and tell him you want to be a part of the program. He'll send you a link and you can come ask Owen questions or me and Tyson. Also, a link will run across the screen for our Discord later in the show. Keep an eye out for that. And you can also come on the show and ask Owen some questions. But the first video we're going to show is just a little bit about a video that Owen, I think you're interviewing Ethan Peck, right?
Yes.
And Ethan Peck plays the new Spock, on Strange New Worlds, and it's a little bit about what Ethan thinks about and feels about playing the new Spock.
Yes.
We're at Fan Expo 2023 with Mr. Ethan Peck. How's your day going, Ethan?
Fantastic. Thank you. How about you?
Doing pretty good. You're now in Star Trek Strange New Worlds. You're coming up on season 2. What does the franchise and that role mean to you? How did you like getting into that shoes and being the next generation of the Spock goodness?
Oh my gosh, that's a huge question. I feel like I've won the lottery. It's like the adventure of a lifetime, really. I mean, to be able to do what I do, which is work as an actor, which is so novel and rare for everyone out there that's pursuing it, as you might know. So to be working, number one, is incredible. Number two, for it to be as a part of this franchise, which really promotes curiosity, scientific mindedness, exploration, hope, love for the other, for things that are different from you, to be propagating that concept in the world is, I just feel like incredibly lucky.
That's totally cool. I know you can't much talk about season 2, but you've got a lot of stuff. You got Pike and stuff. Kirk's coming in. What do you think about Kirk? How's that being in that kind of echo series? You got the Kirk and the Spock, to trifecta McCoy and all that.
Yeah. I mean, when I heard that they were bringing Kirk aboard, I was very surprised, just because, we're 10 years before the original series. So there's quite a bit of time before Pike becomes, terribly wounded. So I was surprised, but also Paul Wesley's been fantastic, I think. He's been a great friend on set and a great acting partner. So I'm excited to see what they do with him. I have no idea, to be honest.
I'm excited to see as well.
Yeah.
Ethan, you take care of someone with Sci-Fiction. Signing off.
So I have a little news to break here. Ethan Peck is going to be my future husband. He doesn't know it yet. But I am marrying. That man is hot. Gregory Peck's
grandson of Gregory Peck, right?
Yeah, grandson of Gregory Peck, who is another great actor. But oh my God, did you see his arms and that face?
Jack's ripped.
You and another million fanboys. All right, we're gonna also show this retro expo video where Owen went with Sci-Fiction and got some interviews. Props to you, by the way, for getting these interviews and talking to these great people. He does an amazing job over there at Sci-Fiction. You guys got to check it out. Here's a video of Owen at the retro expo.
And before I show that, I just added the link to our Discord in the description of this video below, along with all of Owen's links. So check all those out. And here we go. Expo time.
I'm here in beautiful Plano, Texas. This is Owen with SciFiction.com. We are here on location in the beautiful Retro Expo coming to you on November the 12th to the 13th here in Plano, Texas. You need to stop by this event. It's got tons of collectibles, toys, vintage collectibles, new collectibles, modern, over 35,000 square feet of beautiful, awesome stuff. They've got actors this weekend from Blade Runner, Aliens, Tron, you name it, everything retro and awesome, 80s, 90s, everything, including It's just amazing stuff. Aliens, replicas, props, you name it. So if you want to have some fun, if you love 80s retro pop culture and everything's sci-fi and beyond, and collectibles, toys, memorabilia, posters, comics, vinyls, VHS tapes, and everything else, come on to Plano Convention Center in beautiful Plano, Texas, November the 12th to the 13th. It's Owen with SciFiction.com coming to you. I'm here in beautiful Plano, Texas with Mr. Scott Kenny, the promoter of this beautiful event in Plano, Texas. It's taking place on November 12th to the 13th. Mr. Scott, can you tell us what's going on this weekend?
Well, Retro Expo is basically a collector-focused show. I mean, that's what we focus on is providing an experience for collectors to come in and shop and have a good time, and also, people that enjoy, collecting autographs as well.
What kind? You have a lot of guests and stuff going on this weekend. What are some of the guests you have?
We have, of course, Chuck Norris is coming in on Saturday, and Ashley Eckstein, and we have a variety, Kenny James, and just all kinds of really great guests from different franchises, from Star Wars to Tron.
Your theme this year is based on the original Alien franchise. You've got some Alien stuff here as well as some Alien props and stuff like that. What kind of stuff do you have?
Well, yeah, we I don't have a badge on me right now, but we decided to, just celebrate Alien because we love that movie. I'll show you a badge on camera real quick.
Got your badge there.
This is something that I designed and I'm very proud of. And I don't know if you guys got a shot of the coin.
But, we haven't seen the coin. I know there was a medallion that y'all created for the event.
Yeah, they have some up front, yeah.
Very cool. And the actors from Aliens, which ones are those that are going to be down here this weekend?
This weekend, we had a couple, we had a couple cancellations. We have Veronica Cartwright and then, of course, Dave Dorman, who is an Aliens versus Predator cover artist and has done Alien stuff and things like that, yeah.
And the original actor who played Dallas, I believe, is going to be from the OG film for the original Alien 1970s film, as well as you've got some other guests, I believe, from Tron, too?
Yes, Cindy Morgan. Yeah.
Awesome. This event, when people come here, they have a lot of collectibles. You've got, I believe, 35,000 square foot of collectibles behind us. What are some of the things, you're a collector, I believe, as well. What are some of the things you enjoy from the pop culture years? A couple items.
I collect Godzilla stuff and I collect Star Wars stuff.
The vintage Star Wars stuff, you got so plethora with all these items that they create. What's like the last 17? What are some of the things that people look for when you see them come to these events? Like some of their particular items you see them bounty hunting for, They're skyrocketing the price of a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. Well, for instance, in my booth, this evening I sold the first appearance of Boba Fett in the Marvel comic series, which is a hot.
The Marvel. All right.
Yeah. So people look for first appearances, of course, in comic books, and of course, any original box Kenner stuff or carded Kenner stuff is very in demand.
Very cool. For people that want to find out about the event, what are the dates, the times, and when? What's going on?
Go to retroexpo.com. That's the easiest way to figure it out. We're open Saturday from 9 to 5 p.m., 8 to 5 for VIP ticket holders.
Awesome, Mr. Scott. It's always a pleasure, brother.
Thank you.
This is Owen with SciFiction.com.
Gotta love it. I'll tell you a little story. I actually bought the very first Aliens versus Predator comic book that ever came out. Still have it. I was a huge fan of both franchises when I was like 16 years old when I got that comic. And when I was on the Universal Studios lot, when I was like 16, right before I started acting professionally, I was sitting there with the binoculars, looking all over the Universal lot, trying to look for proof that they were making Alien versus Predator, which actually came out like 10 years later. And finally, got to audiences. It was not at all even in pre-production at the time. I had no idea how to even look that stuff up at the time. I was just a kid. But I was so happy that franchise finally merged and did their thing. And those movies were great. And also to tie in a little bit with the project that I'm trying to get on the air right now, the series that we're producing, Star Crew, we want to bring that Alien vibe back, but we want to bring sort of we want to bring H.R. Geiger's dream of a biomechanical city to the people. Like H.R. Geiger would have vaginas opening in walls and zombots barfing out of them, stuff, and like buttholes that you could step into the street that would suck you in and take you away. Like he was totally.
Can they call it a gothic?
Yeah, Cassie always throws up my beauty.
They call it biomechanical.
Biomechanical.
There's Tyson playing one of our zombots actually up in the corner there.
And I had to be bald for that. It was wonderful.
Right.
So basically, it's this full artificial AI city that's run out of energy and has started to eat itself and just get all fucked up. Yeah. So that's basically the idea. Is we want to bring back that Geiger look of his artwork, not exactly Alien, because he brought such a beautiful look to Alien. But I know if Geiger had his way, he would have pushed it farther and had full on like penis beasts that tried to go.
If you look at the original Alien head that was designed, it's like clear on top of the original, but you can see all the intricacies and wild stuff.
And it's a little phallic, and it's got come on,
it's true.
Like something John Waters might be interested in. Yeah, that would. Hey, if you barf it on the sidewalk, I'll eat it. God, John Waters.
It's totally
what was
sexual.
That, Flamingo? Pink Flamingo? Is that what that? Ugh.
Pink Flamingos was fantastic with the poop. That's a horrible movie. Actually, I love Divine. I'm a big fan of Divine. But we're talking about Alien. Alien was all right. So, I mean, Geiger and his vision. If you haven't done yourself the favor of looking at H.R. Geiger's real artwork beyond the Alien franchise, just his work while he was alive, he did this biomechanical, super interesting stuff that included the other topic of our show tonight that we haven't quite got to yet, AI. And the idea of an AI biomechanical universe and what that might look like. I want to show your video where you interview Dean Devlin and Jonathan.
That's a good interview,
Jonathan Glasner. Are you talking to who are you talking to?
Jonathan Glasner,
about the Ark, which is an incredible show. And Dean Devlin is actually, I wish he was my best friend, but he's a good friend of a friend of mine's. And we've been talking to him about Star Crew, and hopefully that all happens. But how long is the interview? Because we're running out of time in the show.
Not too long. I don't think it's that long.
It is 4 minutes and 26 seconds.
Oh man, I'm just gonna, just because I'm such a fan of Dean and his work, let's take a little look at the Ark and Owen's interview with Dean Devlin and Jonathan Glasner.
Rolling.
We're here with Dean Devlin and Jonathan Glasner. How are y'all guys going today?
Good. How are you?
Doing awesome. How are you doing, Dean?
Terrific.
Awesome. You've got this brand new series y'all are doing called The Ark on Sci-Fi Channel. Can you first, Dean, talk a little bit about what that's about and how it's a little bit differs from science fiction? You said it was kind of more of a positive aspect of the future.
Well, this is a story of a ship that is trying to find a new home for mankind. And the idea is that they would be put in cryogenic sleep for the journey and be woken up like a week or two before they land. But something happens, an accident happens halfway through, and all of the sleeping pods are destroyed, so they can't go back into cryogenic sleep. And the ship is damaged, and all the leadership, all the people who are supposed to run the ship, the captain, all the people in charge, they all died in this accident. So everyone has to become the best versions of themselves if they're going to survive.
Wow, and your role on this, talk about how your involvement is with the stories and stuff probably as well, right?
Yeah, Dean brought me in after he'd sold the pilot, and I'm running the show with Dean and writing a lot of the episodes and rewriting a lot of the episodes and enjoying. It's a fun show.
Very cool. Both of y'all, you especially, Dean, were influenced by sci-fi at an early age with Star Trek, and your mother was in Star Trek, stuff like that. And you've got a little bit different story. How do you guys correlate between the science fiction universe? Of course, you have worked on Stargate, you have worked on Independence Day and Stargate the movie. How is it being a part of the whole science fiction pop culture ecosphere related to this next phase of the television? Because you said you'd never done a television series like this,
Well, I've always wanted to have a spaceship show, and I'd never had one. So this was my shot at it. But I've worked with Jonathan on The Outpost, and I loved everything he did with The Outpost. I loved all of his ideas. I loved his scripts. I loved his story ideas. And so as soon as this looked like it could be real, I called Jonathan and I begged him to be part of this. And honestly, a lot of this kind of storytelling I've learned from Jonathan.
The storytelling, let's talk about that a little bit. You've done a lot of stuff and a lot of powerful storytelling, like in Stargate SG-1 and stuff like that. This show doesn't have exactly aliens, but it has a story, character-driven drama. How are you going to go about getting the story, kind of like in the human aspect of things, and what do you see like you'd like to kind of develop that if it were more seasons to come?
Well, this is a show about a bunch of people who are not qualified to be doing their job, who are thrown into having to become qualified. And so it's a great opportunity to explore character and how people rise to the occasion and how they don't in some cases. And also it's about humanity in general. I mean, what's the point of living if you're not going to enjoy it? And so they're doing their best to, get along, and there's some romance and some, they're longing for food and finding food, and it's all about being human and what that means. And I think that's what gives us the characters themselves are what give us the story.
Sure. And wrapping up, when does the show air and where can you find it, Dean?
So the show debuts on February 1st on Sci-Fi. The first 2 episodes will also repeat on Electric Now. So if you don't have the Sci-Fi channel, you can go on Electric Now and see it for free. But once you fall in love with the show, then you're going to have to go get either Peacock or the Sci-Fi channel to see the rest of the shows.
Thank you so much, Mr.
You left
John.
out that it's on Peacock right after Sci-Fi.
It's on Peacock and Sci-Fi. Thank you, Dean. Thank you, John. So for Sci-Fiction, signing off.
So I want to
Before
take
we-
this
Oh, go ahead.
opportunity. All right. Yeah, I want to take this opportunity to say that, my dream, there's 2 legends. Dean Devlin, legend, Independence Day, Godzilla, Stargate. You can go on and on. What a brilliant producer, billion-dollar producer, and one of the kindest guys that I've met. I got to pitch him an earlier version of Star Crew last year, a little over a year ago. And he's kind enough to let us come back in after we've shot this proof of concept. To be able to work with somebody like that and do something like that would be great. I also want to pitch a little bit, and because I have no problem. I have no problem pitching my own projects. Fifth Passenger is a very low budget movie. It was a $270,000 movie, but also with a similar concept to the Ark. And we made the top 10 of B movies ever released on I forget what magazine. Do you? I don't remember.
I don't know.
Well, half of Star Trek: The Next Generation was in there, right?
But we had great actors in it, and it's a similar concept of people in a mega ship going to a new Earth that get cut off, and an accident happens, and they have to try to save themselves. And you should definitely check out Fifth Passenger if you like low budget indie sci-fi B movies, because we made the top 10
That's badass, too.
of all of them. So so cool to interview Dean Devlin and Jonathan, 2 amazing guys that have just dedicated their lives to science fiction and to television and good storytelling. Man, I want to jump to Rod Roddenberry because I know Rod pretty well. I made a short with him called Instant.
That's right.
We're gonna go overtime. Does that bother you?
No, not at all.
Good, man. I'm glad
Roll
you're gonna. So we're gonna go probably 15-20 minutes overtime at least. Let's check out because this is interesting to me, because the next topic we're gonna get into is AI and the future of AI and what our future is going to look like with this technology that is full of beautiful possibilities and full of bad actors and evil possibilities as well. Right. And so I know Rod Roddenberry is working with AI a little bit. And this is your interview with Rod. I've been friends with Rod from the conventions over the years, doing Star Trek conventions. He was always around. But I also made a short film with him called Instant that's available on YouTube that everybody should check out.
That's a powerful film too. I really enjoyed that, by the way, on it.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, thank you. It touches the heart for sure. People should check it out. More people should check it out and share it if you like it. So this is Owen's interview with Rod about his viewpoint on modern tech and the AI that he's using, and on the tech that he works with, and the future as he sees it.
here at San Diego Comic-Con 2022 on the con floor with Mr. Rod Roddenberry. How you doing there, Mr. Rod?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. You just got done doing a live stream. Today is
It's called Streamily. It's great. It's you can anyone. So a lot of people are here, but there's a lot of people who can't be here, whether it's time, money, effort, cost, whatever it is. And so what this does is it connects you obviously online, and you stream to them, and they can actually buy autographs or merchandise. And you just interact and have a great conversation. So it's kind of nice because it's sort of a one-on-one. It's not one-on-one, but it's one-on-many. But still, you get to interact, and it's a lot of fun.
That's totally cool. And you've got tomorrow, I believe, Hall H is the big Star Trek panel. Goodness, can you tell us a little about what's going to be going on? Who's going to be there for that?
I can't tell you exactly who's going to be up there because I don't remember the list of people. But it'll be a lot of good people. I'm sorry to be so vague about that. And you'll hear a lot of new stuff. So that definitely can't say anything.
Very, very cool. The impact of Star Trek and what you've done, with your, your just next generation of Star Trek, continuing on the Gene Roddenberry's legacy, and of course your legacy, of course. I mean, I would think your father would be very proud of you. Yes, I would believe that would be true. What would you like to see humanity, based on the vision of this whole? I mean, you got Comic-Con back full throttle. What would you like to see? In your life, what is the message of what you strive to deliver to everybody in Jim fans and everybody in Jim?
I think we all have a sense of this, and I don't want to repeat what you might have heard everywhere else, but there's a lot of division between us right now, and I'm not standing on a soapbox now saying that I'm above it all and I'm better than that. I'm not. I'm very judgmental, and I've got my own issues, and wherever you might fall, whether it's political or whatever the situation is, we're only going to grow and evolve together. And with division, which unfortunately doesn't seem to be getting much better right now, we're at a standstill. And in some ways, we're stepping back. We do need to make mistakes and learn from them. I'm just ready for us to learn from those mistakes and start back moving forward as a species. Easier said than done. And again, I am not preaching that I know how to do it. I just know listening is important. Knowing that even if you disagree with another point of view, there is something to learn from that point of view. And there is the ability to have a conversation about it. Whether, you think one way and I think the exact opposite, if we don't necessarily let ourselves get too emotional, and we're able to say, you know what, I don't necessarily agree with your point of view, but I'd like to know more because I think this way. And to have that dialogue, that is the growing experience there. That is the evolving experience there. But we're all pretty heated right now, all of us, and it's hard to move forward.
Man, that was wise words right there, man. Amazing. So, we're coming to you from Comic-Con International, signing off.
Live long and prosper.
That was wonderful to watch. I haven't seen my good friend Rod Roddenberry and Trevor Roth, who also works with him on all these new Star Trek shows. Yep. I haven't seen them in a number of years, and it was such a joy to get to know them as friends and make that short instant with them. For sure. They're good people, and they're very trying their best. I love that interview because Rod opens up about the division between us as as a culture right now and as a nation.
Try to throw those zinger questions, man.
Yeah, it was a good question, man, and he came back with a good answer, and it was just good to see him because it's been a number of years since we sat down and broke bread and had a cup of tea or whatever. So that was a great interview. Thank you for that. I'm glad we showed that.
And I love that he kept it real too. See, Rod said, "I'm not above it. I'm judgmental. I have issues."
Yeah, we're all.
I
human,
love that
right?
because you get people that say, "Oh, you all can't disagree." No, I'm part of the you all. I understand that I have issues. I love that he had that message, and that it's still about we still need to grow, and yes, we're going to have strife and struggle, but we're still going to grow. I love that. And just one quick thing, I love the fact that San Diego Comic-Con is here in my city. Next Comic-Con, when you come down, look me up.
Yep.
You have to go out
for sure. I'll go out to dinner and hang out. That'll be badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Of course. I can't wait to get down there.
You'll be there as an actor, but us interviewers just gotta, we'll be on the other side of that velvet rope, right, Manu?
There's no difference. It's just like Rod says, we're all human, right? We're all
sure.
just trying to do our best. I don't believe in an aristocracy or anybody important than the other. An actor is the same as a janitor, is the same as a bus driver. We're all doing a service. Yeah, it was really cool to see that interview with Rod. So let's move on to AI and the future of AI. Let's just start it off with the kind side of things. Mm-hmm. So Owen has been working on this thing with
Justin Bonner.
Justin Bonner, right?
Yeah.
And Justin Bonner is a web development, AI tech developer, and they've been working on this idea of this sort of little bobblehead character that in the future you'll be able to probably order on the app or buy for yourself, and it takes your I'll let Owen explain it after just a titch, but it takes your actual voice and your inflections, and it makes a little character of yourself that you can then type in text, and it will do its best to use your inflections and your facial expressions. And it takes all that information from the internet, which is very scary to me, but at the same time, very fun. And I can't wait.
I hope they don't use stuff like tonight, because I've been sick this week and I've taken a lot of Dayquil. You can see my nose is puffy and my eyes is puffy, and I'm making all these. You see me do this, and I'm not snarling at you guys. I'm kind of stuff. I can't breathe through my nose. I'm having to mouth breathe like a caveman. Just know that it's because I'm stopped up. But AI doesn't know that. It goes out the internet. It's going to get all. If it took tonight's show, it's going to get all these funny expressions. Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping, because I was talking to Owen just a few days ago when I asked him to come on the show with Sci-Fiction. He does this internet reach out thing so much better than us, and covers all the big films and the producers and the actors, etc. He's a stud. Sci-Fiction is great. But he has this little bobblehead of himself. I want one for our show that heckles us.
Christmas is coming up, the holiday season, all the holiday goodness.
Oh man, is that when he's aiming for delivering this thing during Christmas? Maybe. All right. So we're going to show you a little clip of this bobblehead they've been working on, and it's a version of Owen, and it's on one of his little sci-fiction clips. He's used it a couple times, but we'll show you a little peek at what this thing is looking like at the moment.
Hey there, sci-fi fans. This just in. This year's Comic-Con may look different than we'd hoped. We might be facing an actor strike, which means your favorite panels from The Marvels to Loki Season 2 might not be happening. Major players like Disney, HBO, and Netflix are already sitting out, but don't lose hope. Some studios are holding the fort. Warner Brothers and Paramount Pictures might still dish out some excitement for Blue Beetle, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. And let's not forget, Comic-Con is more than just panels. So as we await the final schedule set to roll out on July 5th, let's remember the show must go on. Stay tuned, fans, and remember, in sci-fi as in life, expect the unexpected.
Now, you didn't record that voice? That was typed in?
No, I didn't say nothing. It's typed it in. We typed it in, made the script.
Wow. It sounds exactly like you speaking everything I've heard for this hour and hour and 15 minutes. Well, actually, hour and a half. Prior to the show starting, we had a little backstage time, and I was talking to Owen about how jealous I was that I said, how do you get all these great actors and actresses that you interview? I try writing them. I don't get the time of day, but you're getting Ethan Peck. How do you? I want to get a hold. When you fall asleep, I want to get a hold of your little black book. I'll be like, okay, we got 20 new guests for upcoming shows. You got the contacts, man.
Yeah, and there's people out there that are like booking agents for shows like ours that you can hire, and some of them have people that come on your show that will come on your show for free, and they are actually paying their booking agent to represent their stuff, and others that you have to pay the booking agent to chase down. Like if we wanted to interview Patrick Stewart, we probably wouldn't get that for free.
Right.
But if he
unless he was hawking a new movie or something in which he wants to come on to promote.
Yeah, and I was in it, and so were you, maybe. No, Patrick's a wonderful
Or
person.
we could just interview him using Owen's AI.
Oh, we could
yeah,
just
it's true.
use
Yeah, we
Owen's
could do that
AI
too.
There we
bobblehead.
go.
Totally could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is this? Did you guys have a name for this app or this product
We're
yet?
still trying to come up with like a slick name, but it's not too far off from being finished. A lot of the structure and everything's done for that part of it. We're going to be blinging it out with some more goodies too to come. Basically, make it like a whole thing in your pocket where you could download it in the iOS, Android store, and also a desktop experience as well.
I want a little bobblehead of me during this show that heckles me and just calls me stupid. And
we could probably build you that, man.
Yeah, man.
Just put in like random little scripts that says whatever you want, man.
Yeah, just type it in, and I want my own self. Like
one of the things we
ripping
thought
on
was
me and
really
typing.
cool with that avatar system was to generate it. Like you could have me or whoever utilize it for marketing and movies and narrating and interacting with the fans at events and answering comments and questions for streaming media. So one of the things we're building into the app is going to be a whole simulcasting system. We're trying to get a few of the ones that aren't the mainstream ones like Facebook and YouTube to be on there as well, where we can simulcast. So you basically pick up your phone, you create your avatar, and you can have interact with the fans of the comments. You simulcast, and it's on the portable Go, so it's like your own broadcast production studio. We have it on the Rich. You're walking around Comic-Con or at a movie premiere or whatever. We're here with actor William Shatner. Hi, Owen, how you doing? And you film him. It's simulcast out to all these social media channels. And it's like, my God, these are amazing. How did you build this, Owen? I'll have to make you create one of him. We actually did create a version of Shatner and Leonard Nimoy using their likenesses from the original television series. And we cloned both of their voices as a test and then had them sitting in hotel rooms. He's by the pool and Spock's by a lounging with like a drink next to him and on a sky rise, just talking and interacting with each other.
And this is the AI that's gone in.
Yeah, it's on the
and
YouTube.
stolen their
It's on
voice.
the YouTube channel. It's
Yeah.
on the YouTube channel.
Do we have that one pulled
It's
up?
got Spock as the cover photo.
Yes, we do.
Let's show it. I want to see it.
It's hilarious.
Spock, we've indeed found ourselves in a rather unexpected situation. Here we are, situated in one of Earth's prime retirement destinations, Las Vegas. Soon, this desert haven will be buzzing with Earth's inhabitants. They are not coming for gold or fortune, but rather for what they call the Star Trek convention. It's almost difficult to fathom, but it seems our future missions, the very core of Starfleet, are known to these individuals, and they don't just possess this knowledge. Spock, they cherish it, worship it even. It feels as though our future is laid out for everyone to scrutinize. Could it represent a violation of the prime directive we've yet to comprehend? And to think I presumed retirement would bring some much-needed tranquility and rest. It was rather illogical of me, wasn't it, Spock?
As you command, Captain. It is indeed a curious anomaly. I will conduct a thorough analysis. In the meantime, it seems prudent to blend in and observe. These gatherings of passionate fans, as they call themselves, seem to deeply appreciate the work of Starfleet. This matter could have far-reaching consequences for the Prime Directive and the space-time continuum itself. Relaxation, however, might not be entirely off the table, Captain. Many have found these conventions to be a form of leisurely entertainment.
I think Spock's head was a little too round.
Okay, there's a reason for that. So the very first render we did was too accurate, and it flagged it as a celebrity.
Oh.
So we had to go in there and kind of just bend it just a
round
little,
him a little.
Round it
Oh,
just
wow.
a little.
That was great. That was, oh my goodness. And the voices, if you probably didn't see during the studio, but I closed my eyes and I was listening. You wouldn't know that wasn't pre-recorded Shatner and Nimoy.
Right.
Nimoy was spot on.
Yeah, that's pretty good. We got Shatner kind of sounding like they did in the original series. Their voices from that era. So
Is that what you told the AI to concentrate on?
The cool thing is we were messing around with the inflections and some of the settings and different things, and it just by miraculousness we got that part where Shatner goes full Shatner mode. It just magically made that on the second take. So I'm like, that's the one. Well, using that one.
He did take his dramatic pause, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just did it with the thing. It was badass.
It's pretty funny.
Well, see, Shatner sounded like Shatner, but Nimoy sounds different as Spock than he does as himself, Nimoy, right?
Right.
Shatner always sounds like Shatner, whether he's
We're getting their characters.
Boston Legal, he's always him.
Right. Their voices in the same sound and motif as they would have sounded back in the 1960s. So, what we're going for.
I'm completely changing the subject because I see the Star Wars title behind
Star Wars.
I've been watching Ahsoka and our captain that plays Captain Reno in Star Crew, Mark Ralston, was in the opening. Yeah. He was in the
Aliens.
Episode. Yeah, and he was in the opening episode of Ahsoka. He was the captain of the spaceship.
Right. The big Rebel New Republic fleet cruiser.
Yeah, the New Republic fleet. Yeah.
Where he got lightsabered.
He got lightsabered for sure. I was so jealous though, just to be on Star Wars in any way, shape, or form, to be one line and dead. You're in history, you know.
You actually knew about his role being on there before they were on there. He was on there a good 6 months or more before.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. I actually, texted him afterwards and had a little chat about, congratulations for getting to be on Star Wars.
I didn't know what he was going to be. I didn't know what role it was. I just knew he was going to be on
Star Wars and Aliens. All he needs now is Trek.
Can we get Ralston on the show one of these days?
Trek.
Yeah, we. I hope so. I would like to think that I'm a good enough friend to get him on here. I'll give him a ring. Hopefully that would be fun. Mark's a great guy.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for you guys to see the Star Crew short or the Star Crew.
I can't wait to see it. I was there watching you film it. I can't wait to see it.
It'd be much better to sell the series and then show you the short afterwards. But either way, it was a lot of fun.
Who's going to narrate the short? Who's going to narrate it?
We don't have a narrating voice yet. So far, we've just got scrolling titles.
It's going to be like, did you ever remember that show Captain Power from back in the day? How they have like the narration, it's like goes the Metal Wars, whatever it was, the post-apocalyptic wasteland.
I'm sort of in a not a competition, but a battle with myself to decide between
you should do it
Star Wars scroll or the low. No, we need like a really low, beautiful old guy voice with
Anthony Hopkins. Maybe I don't know. He's
a ton of leaves in your throat,
Morgan Freeman's the only one I could think of that.
Oh, that'd be great.
You could have Harvey Firestein read it for you.
Oh, yeah, if we could resurrect him from the dead. Isn't he dead?
There was that Wolfman Jack who could be on there like, he alive in the radio. Welcome to the Star Crew.
I'd take Harvey Firestein in a minute.
For $200 an hour, you can send him to my house, to his house in the Hamptons.
Resurrect me. I'll work
on me. That's right. Jeez.
Boy, did he have a 3-pack a day voice. Jeez.
Maybe a 4-pack. I was talking about him. He smoked cigarettes forever, and I said maybe he'll be like the next George Burns. But he lived to be like 100.
Burns was amazing. Yeah. Oh, to be able to do hardcore drugs for your entire life and live to be 100. I don't think
100.
Any of us. Yeah, I think I've already taken 40 years off my life in my 20s, so I don't think that's going to happen for me. But AI, right? AI. I'm terrified of this shit. It scares the crap out of me. I watched this recent thing on Netflix called AI Killer Robots. It was a portion of another series, and I forget the title of the series. But they showed all these people in the military that are developing these killer drones and killer robots to take the battlefield. And not only to take the battlefield, but to police, possibly us.
Like Chappie.
Yeah, right. And I was watching your bobbleheads of Kirk and Spock talk there, and I couldn't help but see somebody at my door going, "You didn't pay your taxes correctly this year."
Damn, dude.
Was Chappie Australian? What was that?
What was that?
I mean, I loved it. Yeah,
it's
but
like
he had an accent.
It's like very accent. I couldn't. It wasn't British, and it wasn't maybe New Zealand.
New Zealand, Australia. Sounded like it kind of had that Australian twang to it. If I had to guess,
it kind of reminded me of the Outer Limits trailer from the '90s. Like, we control the horizontal and the vertical. We can delude you with 1,000 images, or take one and turn it into crystal clarity and beyond.
Yeah, man.
Upper limits?
The 1990s version, not the old OG black one. Yeah, that creepy.
Yeah, that
like,
show
intro
was
and
so
shit.
good. Yeah, that show was so good. And also a little sneak peek at I think what our reality actually is. I think we live in a space, honestly. I'm not making like Rod says. I'm not standing on a soapbox. This is how
soapbox.
This is how things are. But I definitely feel like we're absolutely manipulated by higher powers. If it's not just the military-industrial complex and all the money that they have and the future, basically, which is no future for the world that they want, the war machine and the war.
According to the Guidestones, they have never population and stuff. You know?
Oh yeah, limit the population for sure. We either need 0-point energy technology for all of us to live at this stage and stop burning all these fires to travel around,
or the laser beams that are burning us stuff up in space.
You're going up.
Maybe like Star Wars. The Star Wars stuff. Now that's another movie.
No, that's when it started. I think personally, Reagan, Star Wars. Yeah, we're not doing it. We made a deal. Bullshit. We definitely have lasers up there that can shoot down missiles. And
really quick question. Really quick. You've heard what happened in Israel and Gaza, right? If there were Jewish space lasers, wouldn't now be the time to use them? I mean,
No, they had an iron shield already that they thought could handle this shit. But they were 5,000 missiles, man.
Damn.
Overpowered.
Yeah, if there were Jewish space lasers, I think that wouldn't have happened, right? They would have just
but 500 is too many to try.
Wait a second. 5,000. And wait a second. Who said Jewish? I didn't say Jewish space lasers.
Marjorie Taylor Greene last year said Jewish space lasers. Yes, she did.
I said American
or
space
2 years
lasers.
ago, whatever. But it was a Marjorie Taylor Greene Jewish
Reagan
space laser.
started Star Wars, and look, we used to have
and Nancy Reagan. We're talking about the Star Wars weapons platform, and we figured that a national.
Yeah, they're shooting at shit with lasers up there already. I've seen NASA footage of shit like that. So.
Well, it's real. Actually, they can do that. They have real stuff.
Of course, we've militarized.
They have ground
space.
ones too, little ground things that have like a laser beam on it. You know, my dad, when he was 17 years old, reverse engineered the laser prototype from NASA. He was dating a girl that was her dad ran the NASA Technology Division up near Redstone. They're great. All the Apollo astronauts, she's staying at my granddad's house. But anyway, so he had reverse engineered 3. And before they got hold back up, they knocked on the door late in the AMs. Said, "We heard your son has our laser." Granddad comes over. Yeah, he's got it. Here's it back. And then one of them was sitting in the museum. I think one was, donated. He took one to National Science Fair in New York and won second or third place or something like that back in the day.
So your grandfather and your father were deep state military folk.
They weren't deep state. They were military. But my granddad, he was in the U.S. Medical Services, and my dad been playing with accelerators and particle beams and lasers and stuff for the last 40 years.
That's back when they had laser tubes instead of laser emitting diodes.
Yes.
Because I know at least 20 years ago, they showed us that they had these amazing 757s, I think, that they had these laser beams.
The big ground mounted ones.
Yeah. No, they weren't ground mounted. They were on the front of the nose of the 757.
And you talk about the airplane with you.
Yeah, and it was a laser that could shoot down aircraft from 300 miles away. It could
one or two, but not 5,000 all at once.
We had 7 of them, so it would be hard to take out 5,000 missiles especially from outer space and pinpoint all 5,000.
Can a laser stroke? Right? I mean, it doesn't have to sit and aim at just one. You can stroke. That kind of stroke.
So like spies like us kind of stuff.
It would it could
create like a grid.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but one of those missiles could still get through the grid.
Get to the grid, man. The shields.
I'm never gonna hear the end of this. Where's my NyQuil?
No, but truthfully, I think I came home from a trip to Las Vegas talking to an investor, and I came home to this war, this attack by Hamas in Israel and all the news footage. And to me, I don't know. I'm getting sick of it. I'm getting sick of war. I'm getting sick of the distraction. I'm getting sick of the Muslim Christian bullshit that's causing all this. And I really didn't care, to be honest with you. I didn't care. I just looked at it and I went, this is Gaza Strip, West Bank for the last, God knows, 70 years since World War II that they've been attacking each other. And even my lady, Valerie, was like, I'm a little impressed with Hamas's attack. I mean, yeah, they had guys on freaking hang gliders coming in there. Besides the 5,000 missiles that they launched, they attacked by land, sea, air, and hang gliding guys with missile launchers in their damn hang gliders. I mean, to me, it's just like, a bunch of crazy Christians and Muslims doing the wrong thing, killing people. It's not what Muhammad and Jesus had in mind. So it just pisses me off on both ends. And war in general, I'm starting to think the Skrulls and the aliens or somebody else is behind it, because
somebody's behind it.
Somebody's behind it for sure. And I think most likely it's the military-industrial complex, and it's just human greed and
pure damn greed is what it is.
Definitely. Greed and belief in different names of gods. We're so far behind. I do believe that we have hope, and it's part of the reason for doing the show. I think I always want to try to get, and we're going to do a better job of this, getting like doing some shows on politics and getting some real conservatives and some real liberals together on this show to have some conversations and try to meet in the middle somewhere. Because to me, man, I'm just so sick of hearing about war. I'm so sick of watching it. I'm so sick of it controlling our economy. I'm so sick of it being used as a tool to stoke economy. I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of war.
We're about half hour overtime, and we got some callers that called in just to talk to you, Owen.
3 guests.
Yeah, let's take these.
Yeah.
Let's take these.
All right. First we have Mala, and then Dave, and then Katie.
Mala, how are you, lady? Oh my God, she's got AI ears on.
yeah.
Love it.
Hello, how are you guys? Happy Canadian Thanksgiving, everyone.
There's a country that does it right, that just kicks back and hangs out. They got
few-
problems. You got problems, but you're not like trying to police the world.
No, just bring peace to the world.
That's right. Okay.
And turkey.
Yeah, turkey's all right too. So what's the? I also like turkey. I like to eat turkey.
It's coming up.
No, I was just wondering.
Thanksgiving.
That's right.
The day when we celebrate the genocide of the Native Americans with turkey and football. All right.
And cranberry sauce.
And cranberry sauce.
And cranberry.
Mala, go ahead.
I was just wondering how long you've been doing what you do and where you're mainly located.
I've been doing the sci-fiction on the internet. We started as a blog back in about 2010, and I look at it in Texas. We're building it out, doing more. We started as a podcast and a blog, and we started doing more on-camera stuff and building it out even more and more and more as time progressed. We got a website online now, and we get this stuff on Facebook and YouTube and pretty much all that jazz.
The links, we haven't shared the links. I know I've said SciFiction.com a number of times to get yourself started. Do we have some of the other links to share, Cassie?
All of his links are in the video description below.
Cool.
Sweet.
Do you have any other questions?
That was all I was curious about.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. I appreciate you asking questions. It's a good question.
Do you have another
one?
one?
Do you do this, by the way, do you do this for a living now, or is this something you do as a hobby on the side, Owen?
It's my full-time gig. So basically I do this all the time. We're actually in the process now of getting to the level where we have a decent enough reach. We're trying to approach some advertisers and sponsors and kind of build it out even more to where we can activate more writers, more contributors, build more cool stuff like more application type stuff and bling it out even more.
Sci-Fiction is reaching like 20 million people a month or something like that. With
10 to 20 million a month. Yeah. And then you've got the other channels. We're trying to get it more and more. It just depends on, there's like social media too. You got the algorithms and all that jazz. And Just depends. Usually 10 to 20 million minimum with him.
Yeah. So and they've been doing great. And Owen's such a good guy. I actually hung out with Owen quite a bit in New Orleans.
New Orleans, yeah.
Yeah, man. We went to New Orleans and hooked up together and went out. And what were we drinking? We were drinking that hallucinogenic drink that night.
That was the little pub.
Absinthe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got me and Leslie got the diet version. You and my buddy Adam got that. Man, that's just that's too strong, man.
No,
remember our Lyft driver, the first one that canceled, and the second guy picked us up in an awesome Cadillac that was like, "You guys need a ride." That was awesome.
New Orleans is fucking crazy.
Yeah,
man.
it is.
That place is a wild town. I hope to see it more. That's the only time I've got to hang out there, and I had a blast. All right, Mala, thank you so much for your question, and thanks for tuning in to Dangerous Thoughts. Who's next?
Next up, we have Dave.
Hey, Dave.
I actually took notes on this episode. I've never done that before.
Oh my goodness! Read us some of your notes.
Well, the first thing I want to ask directly to Tyson: you're breaking up with Travis?
Ooh, gossip! Gossip
for Ethan Peck. I'm breaking up with Travis, but if Peck doesn't go through, then I'm still with Travis. So we'll have to see.
Okay, yeah, but I was just
but
like,
I mean, if Ethan, I know straight people, straight men that if Ethan Peck said they would be their husband, done, right?
Yeah, I forgot how buff he was. I think
Ethan
we've only
Peck,
seen him shirtless that first episode of Strange New Worlds, but
look, it's the new
vapors.
Hollywood rule. Back in the 80s, back in the 70s, you didn't have to be buff and sexy. You just had to be good looking. But if you're good looking, now you have to have that like extreme chiseled extra
area.
Abs under your armpits are abs. And Ethan has those. He's very, very good looking. Spock's cock must be beautiful. All right, so
but no,
Dave, what else is in your notes?
Well, like Harvey Firestein, he's still alive and well.
Okay.
Is he really?
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I looked him up on Wikipedia just to make sure, but yeah, he is still alive.
I swear we're living in some kind of dual
The Mandela
reality.
effect.
The Mandela effect, because I swear Harvey Firestein died.
I thought he had two, but
I think you might be thinking of Harvey Weinstein. Might be
No, I'm
thinking of
not
Harvey
thinking of-
Weinstein.
Well, Harvey Weinstein was canceled a few years ago. He was a fucking rapist. But Harvey Firestein, I swear he was dead. And if he's not dead, good for him. Thank you to the Mandela
But he
effect
still got the
for
voice.
bringing him back with his voice. Maybe we'll get him to do the voiceover for Star Crew.
Yeah, that would be cool. But yeah, I really loved him in Independence Day.
Oh, he was great.
Yeah.
It's like
Put me through to his house in the Hamptons.
Him and Goldblum, come on, man, you can't.
Oh
ask
yeah,
for it.
Crap.
Some more
But,
notes. I want to hear some more of these notes.
Well, saying so to Owen, saying Kirk versus Picard.
Oh
Kirk versus
man.
Picard.
Like in their prime or like towards the end of their kind of what
In their
version?
prime.
In their prime.
Okay, it's a good one. And will we have any weapons like phasers, or just straight on hand on combat, or?
Well, I just think that just like overall their command style, the way they handled things.
They each got their best.
They've got their best. Like you got Kirk, he's more of a kind of hands-on. They're both got somewhat of a diplomatic. Well, where Picard's probably more the diplomatic. I would probably lean towards in that ecosphere. Probably Picard, but Kirk's good at other things like cleverly, evading situations, getting out of things. But Picard's good at just solving head on as a diplomat. So if you're going to be a diplomat, Picard,
Picard was a goody two shoes, right?
Yeah.
Where
but if you want
Kirk
to
was
solve
more
it
of
like a
cowboy.
boss and get out with breaking a few rules, I go with Kirk.
Yeah, right.
Okay, well, Picard actually broke quite a few rules too in like the early seasons of Next Gen. Like
Yeah, but he
Hayden-
wasn't the cowboy that Shatner
space
was. No,
cowboy.
don't get me
Or-
wrong.
or-
Brings the star.
Or Spock would say
what-
cowboy diplomacy.
Yeah.
What
Yes,
if Shatner and Picard got in a fist fight?
I think
Well,
William
but
would
Shatner always has the judo chop.
Yeah, I think Kirk would win in that regard.
Probably for sure. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not so sure about
double
that.
fist punch.
You know,
went head to head with a Gorn, man. Like,
yeah, but
the Gorns back then weren't as scary as they are today.
Right, those Gorns today are like straight out of the horror film.
Ooh,
yeah,
they're the shit.
Shatner is old and a little heavyweight, and Picard is old, but he's a ballet dancer. He's that guy's a badass. I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, did you see him in Star Trek 8? He was pretty badass.
Yeah,
and even in Star Trek 9, he was, he was in really good shape in those movies. But he was, hey, he's like cut. He's like swinging from that thing with the Borg, and the whole time he's cut up, man.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
I wouldn't just I wouldn't. I think Shatner versus.
It'd be interesting.
It would be interesting
for sure,
no doubt.
And I want the deets on Star Trek 14. There's got to be a 14.
I mean, I would pay for that.
You mean the Kelvin verse?
They had
JJ Kelvin,
would be 14, right?
Yeah, it'd be 14.
I mean, they had just last weekend. They had Canelo versus Charlo. I would pay way more than $89 to see, Kirk versus Spock. I mean, Kirk versus Picard in a boxing ring for real.
Hey, only one of them has been to space in real life, though.
That's right.
Yeah, and I hear it's done a lot for his soul and his personality. I hear since he's been to space, he's changed quite a bit, and then a more enlightened version of William Shatner.
I know he's doing a lot of podcasts these days. I mean, he's been popping up on my feed and other feeds every day, from like Adam Carolla. So he's even on Steve-O's podcast. That was awesome. Have you seen that one? You check that one out.
Adam Carolla is still a thing?
I guess.
Of course. He's Adam Carolla.
He's Adam Carolla. Yeah.
Come on.
I remember his Love Line days.
Steve-O's still a thing. Show. We're all still a thing. Steve-O. We're hanging out. We're still alive.
Yeah,
come on. We got a chance. We gotta what's his name? Michael J. Fox would say a chip in a chair. All of us.
Chip in a chair.
Got a chip in a chair. We're still in the game. As well as Harvey Firestein.
And with your interview about with the Ark and whatnot, just like I immediately started thinking Shades of Voyager when the Maquis and the Voyager crew got shunted out to the Delta Quadrant. They had to try and work together to be able to get their way home and stuff. So I was just like, See, I've seen ads for the Ark. I just haven't had a chance to watch it yet. So
I think they just got renewed for season 2, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. And with all these Comic-Cons that you've been to, it's like, have you been to Emerald City Comic-Con in Seattle?
I have not. I've been wanting to do that one and WonderCon. I've been to San Diego. I've been to tons of Comic-Cons. Never been to that one. I like to check that one out though.
Okay, I just recently moved here to Colorado Springs myself, but I spent like over 20 years in Seattle. I've been to 2 of them. It's totally worth it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's insanely. I mean, in the 20 plus years, it's grown to like 4 days now.
Oh wow!
And it's crazy. I've seen the last one.
What month is that? What month is that?
Because of the pandemic, they've been shifting it around, but I think usually they are doing it around April.
Right.
But yeah, I got to meet David Tennant, Billy Piper, Christopher Lloyd.
Oh wow! That's a feature right there.
Oh yeah, and when I actually
86 miles an hour.
I think I a little bit tonight. But everyone wants to talk to Chris Lloyd about Back to the Future. When I got a picture of him with him in a DeLorean.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
nice.
Mandalorian.
Yeah, but yeah. See, the first thing I talked to him about was his role as Krug in Star Trek 3.
Oh yeah, time traveling Klingons.
But yeah, he was just kind of like he was blown. He was actually blown away when I mentioned that that's one of my favorite characters that he played. And then he mentioned that they created a whole Klingon language for that movie. It's like,
yes,
I know.
They actually have a dictionary. A whole book of a big book.
A
dictionary. Klingon dictionary.
Yeah. Which I
Unlike the zeros and ones for the board dictionary.
Mala has some beautiful rainbow dictionaries in the back of her background. If you want to take a look at her,
She's got AI ears too.
She has AI ears and beautiful rainbow penis candles. I think. Yeah, there it's coming right out of her head. It was growing right out of the top of her head there. That was fantastic.
And one of her kitties is trying to make her presence known.
That's right.
But what is probably like the biggest question is, what is your biggest fanboy moment with all the interviews that you've done over the years?
Oh man.
Are you calling my friend Owen a fanboy?
I mean, I get what he's getting at. So
it's like
fanboy. A lot of people I've
We've
interviewed.
got the newest member of the family.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there. I'm a fanboy for
probably
little
at least
Grogu
over
over there.
1,000 people. So, there's a few that stand out. Nichelle Nichols is just cool. I was really happy and honored to get to interview her because she was like a legend. You know, worked with NASA and done a lot of work with that. Interviewed a guy.
Sorry, what was the name again? I'm sorry.
Nichelle Nichols. She played her in the original Star Trek. Yeah.
Yes.
And I got to interview.
That's one actor I wanted to meet, but never got the chance, unfortunately.
Beautiful girl. I got to work with her and Snoop Dogg in one of the worst movies ever made in the history of mankind, called Unbelievable.
Doesn't Snoop Dogg play a general in that or something?
Snoop Dogg plays some general that's the general of all these plants that are coming to the Earth to change people into plants.
That's right.
And there's like a puppet Kirk and Nichelle Nichols.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
We have a scene in that movie. It has to be the worst movie ever made, I think. But because it's the worst movie ever made, you should probably check it out. I think between that and Ed Wood, one of his films, you could watch them both back to back and have a real good time.
In regards to
but let me tell you though, Nichelle Nichols, what a sweetheart. I mean, what a beautiful soul that woman was. Go ahead, Owen. Sorry.
Yeah, Nichelle Nichols would be one of the top ones right there. I got to interview one presidential candidate. That was pretty cool because he actually had a sci-fi thing he was working on at the time. And he actually patented a sport called lava boarding. Google that on YouTube. That's wild. He was the Transhumanist Party's presidential candidate. And he got on the board on National Geographic when he worked with that and got on the board and glid all the way down a live lava flow on a board, creating lava boarding sport.
Thought you were talking about Dennis Kucinich for a minute.
No. This guy's
He's the one that saw the alien.
Yeah, so I did a lot of
No.
No, this guy, his name is Zoltan, but he has this badass book. But we got into talking about a lot of stuff that we got to talking about like everything we got to talk about here, like like artificial intelligence and AI and mind uploading. Got to talking about that a little bit. That was just a fascinating interview, just from standpoint of interviews. But probably Nichelle Nichols. I've been wanting to get Shatner on the show. It's our next step. I like to get him before he gets to be 103. I like to very much get him on the show and talk to him, at least if nothing, just about his work with new stuff he's doing, the Charity Horse Show, his new book, his new movie, all that. It'd be interesting.
I think Shatner's one of the scrolls, and he's actually like 403, not
probably 400.
Unexplained with William Shatner.
Not 103.
Another cool one I would say out of the top would probably be, well, sci-fi related would probably. I like talking to Timothy Dunnigan's a buddy. He was a Captain Power in the original Captain Power series, and that was a really interesting interview because he told us some stuff. You check that out; it's on the site. But he told us some stuff about his work on A-Team and kind of his whole career in Hollywood and all that. It's pretty interesting. So he actually is a mortgage broker now, I believe.
Yeah, funny to mention A-Team, but that's like further down on the list. But like one of you could probably like
what you get.
Try to see up there, like up in the corner there is like one of my friends actually got George Takei's autograph for me at a Comic-Con that I couldn't attend to, but like a couple of years later, he was one of the grand marshals for the Seattle Gay Pride Parade.
Okay.
And I actually got to approach him and talk to him for a few minutes. And if you haven't read his autobiography, it is a must read. See, I picked it up for like $2 at a grocery outlet back when I was still in high school. But he talked about his life growing up as a kid, growing up in the segregation camps that they built during World War II. And the one that he spent the most time in was the Tule Lake up in Northern California.
Yeah.
So my friend and I, we were actually going to go to Klamath Falls for the 4th of July. And that's just a hop, skip, and a jump to Tule Lake. And I told him I was going to visit there the following week. And he just looked at me. He's like, "Oh, really?" I was like,
my.
No, not in oh my, but oh really? And I was like, yeah, really. And I got a great pick.
I know he had a graphic novel he did as well, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think based actually on
the
Allegiance,
book.
I think.
Right.
Yeah, but his autobiography is To the Stars.
To the Stars.
Which kind of leads into like the left-handed live long and prosper that Rod did with your interview with him, which is like, oh my God, Rod's a lefty. See, I can't do it worth shit with my right hand, but my left hand I can do it no problem.
Gotta practice that shit. Because one of the best interviews.
I love the Lower Decks. Peace out.
Don't give me that sarcastic Vulcan salute.
Peace out. It's hilarious. I love it.
Solid gold, man.
But like
solid gold,
press platinum. Sorry.
Two other things on my notes. Like one really super quick, that the thing that you did with the AI with Kirk Spock's like, oh my God, how spot on. I think
appreciate you, man.
Yeah, no, that stuff's going to be really cool. When
we're still getting some of the work done, kind of getting some of it more calibrated and tooled up, but yeah, appreciate you, man.
It's also going to be creepy to be able to order yourself. It's terrifying
in digital form.
Yeah. But it kind of rolls into one of my other things I was thinking is that there's this YouTube channel Lampoonery, which he actually did a Knight Rider meets Fast and Furious. But as episodes have progressed, he's gotten the A-Team, Airwolf, MacGyver. Just like, I mean, it looks campy as heck, but I'm just like,
oh, you gotta love it.
I like it. I love it.
That poor guy from Airwolf. I met him when I was an up and coming actor in LA, and
Jan Michael Vincent,
John Michael Vincent.
Jan Michael Vincent.
I had such a crush on him back then.
Oh, he was hot in that show, but God, he drank himself to, like, he's got such a wet brain. He was
to Oblivion.
Yeah.
That was a good movie with Tom Cruise.
But John Michael Vincent looks like shit. Oh my God. If he's not dead yet, he must have died 15, 20 years ago.
He passed away, I think, like about 4 or 5 years ago.
If you want to see what happened to John Michael Vincent and the evils that Hollywood can do to beautiful young men, watch John Michael Vincent in a movie called Buffalo 66. You'll see him in his older age playing.
Oh my God, Jan Michael Vincent looks like Ernest Borgnine. What happened?
Alcoholism and cocaine. All right, let's take one more question from. I think we've got Katie on the line.
All the way from England, and it's damn near 4 a.m. there. Thank you for sticking with
Katie?
us.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Now, I know that some of my strange typings have been put on screen, but I've been having a really big rant about AI. I always do whenever the topic comes up. And I mean, just ask Tyson and Manu and Cassie. But
we need to talk more about it for sure.
We do need to talk more about it. But so many people are so excited about AI. And all right, fair enough, it's okay. You know, it's okay. I mean, I'm not very, oh my God, about it. You know, it's, for me, it's just, meh. But also it's really worrying because all the technology that we've got today, people rely on it so much. I know I do to some degree. And like I mentioned earlier, right down to cars, like self-park and like reverse assist and everything, it's making drivers lazy. And the technology that we've got, I mean, half of the people around the world if their internet was to go down or their electricity, they'd be freaking out on what to do.
How do I grow a carrot? Where's the chicken?
How do I favorite this like on this Facebook post?
But nobody seems to have any backups anymore. Nobody seems to have any backups anymore for when technology goes down.
No, I think it's a big mistake. I'm with you.
It is. I mean, if my electricity goes down, I've got battery powered lights, lamps, big stock of batteries. I've got quite a few books. You know, it may become a problem, but I've got plenty of books and things like that. But not many people do have backups for when this technology goes down. Do you think that technology is being relied upon and depended upon too much and essentially making the human race lazy?
Yes, I agree with you on that. And if it goes down, there's going to need to be some strong, powerful, independent leadership that can speak on behalf of the people to get things back on track, especially if we can't get the electrical grid or anything, if hypothetically it all went down, back operation. There's going to need to be some semblance of society and some semblance of, everybody getting along and, continuing the human race. So I agree with you on that.
200 years ago, there was no electricity. So everybody had fire burning this, and they had kettles and pots. They had the equipment to live without electricity. Today,
how many young kids today do you know how to grow a plant or agriculture?
Right. Yeah.
They had the tools and the knowledge then.
Right.
And you talk about technology lost to time. Living without electricity is a skill lost to time. If all electricity were, say there was a massive solar flare and all electricity was gone for the next 10 years,
for sure,
half the population would die.
Yeah.
In either situation, half the population could die.
We could dig up some of those old Tesla blueprints, man.
Right, because it would be, I mean, we are so reliant. I don't have kettles that are fire burning at my house. What would I use to cook?
No, I'll tell you something that happened to me last week, and I wasn't going to share the story, but it pissed me off. I went into Walmart, and I was just trying to buy some groceries. I had about $400 worth of groceries, like 3 weeks worth of groceries, like just stacked, ready to go. I walked in there last week, and it was like 9:45 at night. The place closed at 11. They had no check cashiers open at all. All the check stands were shut down. They had a mile of 22 people, at least 20 people, in line for the 1/3 of the self-checkout machines they had automated to make it easier on you to check out your own fucking groceries and bag your own shit and figure out where the fuck a watermelon is. I got in that line and I just started to get angry. And I was like, this automated world. And I started looking around and counting Walmart employees. And there were like 50 employees in that fucking place. But they had nobody checking people out. They had computers checking people out. And I'm scared that AI and this automated world that we're coming to depend on is making people lazy, like Katie says. It is taking away a ton of our freedoms. Because I threw a fit. I was like, will somebody open a check stand so these 20 people that are buying groceries don't have all their groceries melt and go to shit and have all their money wasted? Will somebody...
It's also taking away jobs.
Taking away jobs, etc.
Yes,
can a human being sit at the check stand, please, and help some of these people? And all the humans that were there, 50 plus employees, stocking, etc., none of them could go to the check stands, but 5 of them could pick me up by the armpits and throw me out of that place.
They did?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Because I started throwing my bread and I started throwing my cat food and I threw a thing of milk over a couple of check stands and I was like, fuck you. And I threw the whole $400 worth of groceries back at the guy. And I was like, then keep them, motherfucker. I don't want these. And I chucked the milk. And
they can afford it. They got like infinity billions.
Of course.
He went full Lindsay Lohan on Walmart. Yeah, it was great.
And you know what they probably did with all my melted, disgusting groceries? They probably put them right back on the shelf.
Probably.
Yeah. And then I walked outside thinking I was going to definitely have a police car arrest me. But instead, they had 3 police robots in the parking lot, which are like police. They're called,
oh my God.
What were they
Lot
called?
Cops.
Lot cops.
Lot cops.
With all the cameras on them that can, like,
Citizen, you have offended.
Citizen, you have offended Walmart. It's time to
Walmart
die.
Code 7294 Statute of Limitations.
Thou must not throw milk or bread.
You have been judged.
One of the guys even said, when I threw the cat food, the guy even said, that's what did he say? He said, I threw the cat food and it bounced off one of the other machines that I hate, those automated machines, and onto the floor. And he said, that's physical assault. And I said, on what? The fucking cat food? And that's when I that's
a bounce and it hit something else. That's the bounce thing. When it bounced on was what was the
yeah.
Well, this is so hearing you share this is so much better than what you actually shared on Facebook about.
I
that.
was
oh my
pissed,
God,
man.
Oh, yeah.
It's not
Couldn't you
right.
still have your assimilation tubules? Couldn't you have just given us a nanite?
I would have made all those motherfuckers Borg if I had that pop.
Borgify them. Borgify them up.
God.
Yeah, they may be
At least they would have been in service.
The sellotape machines across there are the angriest machines in the world.
Yeah, and you've got 20 people in line waiting for a computer to check out their own shit. I mean, back in the 1950s, you had like 16 people ready to, hey, how are you, sir?
Oh, no. Back in the 18 and early 1900s, you didn't get your own groceries. You went to the clerk, and the clerk went and got your groceries and brought it to the counter for you.
Yeah,
you didn't do your own shopping. Came in the 1920s, where they invented the shopping cart.
We got
and then people would go in and do it. Before that, the clerk shopped for you.
I also, talking about this automated world and AI being a part of it, I'm an angry individual. And I think, I'm just mad. I'm mad at the automated world. I'm sorry. I'm losing it. I lost my train of thought. I got so angry.
Owen mentioned DoorDash
as well. It's horrible. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love technology. It brought me to the DT family, and I love you all to bits. But on the flip side of that, as much good
there's
as technology is, and as much as good as technology can do, people are really acknowledging properly the downsides to it. And everyone's like, "Oh my God, this is amazing," which it is. It is. Technology is amazing, and it's moving forward at pace, But technology needs to slow down so that things can settle a little bit before it's carried on. And bless you, Tyson.
Bless you.
Yeah, I'm still dealing with the cold thing. Sorry.
There's COVID. There's human beings actually showing empathy and care, right? That's what I think. I'm scared of this automated world. I also have a shrink and talk to a shrink just because this bothers me so much. My cell phone, which was supposed to be these smartphones were supposed to be things that made our lives easier, that made our lives better. That was the whole sell. That was the whole pitch. And to me, I am so bombarded by my cell phone that almost every human being I know that loves me and cares about me, etc., is contacting me. I actually took a 12-hour drive across the world, and I got calls, at least 6 or 8 calls per hour on that drive, or texts. And all these people, because of this technology, expect you to get back to them right away.
Because people are so impatient these days, Mom. They're so impatient.
Yeah. We used to have message machines. You could wait 3 days to get back to that. Yeah, I got your message 3 days ago. What's going on?
This is XYZ calling about something. Beep. Hi, come pick up your groceries from the grocery store.
Yeah, the milk might not be so good, but otherwise, pick it up.
Now, Owen was talking DoorDash as someone that drives for DoorDash and does those grocery pickups and stuff. It's not as easy as a lot of people think, because
you're working for a fucking computer.
Right.
Well, not only that,
it's like a triple DoorDash or a double DoorDash. You have like
but
different locations.
When a customer asks for something at the grocery store that you personally would never order, it's like, where the flip is this nonsense?
You have to go bounty hunt that down, man.
Well, also, what if it's a vegetable or a fruit that you're, something you don't normally eat? That's like, I don't know. Is this ripe? Is it not ripe? Is this
right?
Exactly.
Okay, here's like asparagus. I love asparagus, but when you go to the store, there's the really thin ones and there's the really thick ones. I hate the thick ones. They need to be nice and thin, and they steam up nice, and they're not so. Calm down, Manu. You're gayer than I am. So it's asparagus. I mean, I'm very picky about what kind. But if you don't know, like if you went there, you got me like dildo-sized asparagus, I would hate that. They need to be.
Oh, a big crunchy one.
big like homegrown one, man.
Just one.
Just one will make your pee smell funny.
Giggity.
I deal with my old roommate Tony.
I gotta throw out.
Squishy test.
It sure does make your pee smell
I
funny.
need to
but
throw
that's all
out a
another.
giggity.
Yeah.
Giggity,
all right.
Giggity for Chris Leftwich because he couldn't be with us
definitely.
tonight. So
thank you,
Chris.
See, for
What's
the lack
up?
of the
What's up?
A big what's up for the lack of technology that Chris Leftwich uses every day. I give him a big what's up for that. That guy's cool. All right, Owen, thank you for bringing your fun personality, your heart, and your mind to Dangerous Thoughts. Everybody go check out SciFiction.com. Use AI for good things. There's so much danger with this technology. For the super corporations out there and the military industrial complex and just bad actors that might use it for the wrong reason. This is a dangerous thing. We need to police it. We need to, I'm not a big, police guy, but I think there should be some kind of organization that watches all these big companies that have, and just regular people that have the money to invest in AI, because you can have a million or multiple million situations going on at the same time in the computer, building a horrible, horrible thing. One example I'll leave you guys with before I go. There was a couple of scientists, I think at Cambridge in America, that were trying to use AI to find new drugs to heal people for diseases that we haven't found, haven't found cures to yet. And they were doing some good stuff with that. But then a think tank called them. I don't know who, but the think tank from whatever corporation said, what is the worst that you guys could do with the AI tech that you're using? And they thought, well, what if we changed the commands and they just changed a 1 to a 0 instead of looking for drugs that could combine, that could help some of these diseases we haven't found cures for. They just had it look for toxicity. And over 24 hours, they came back and they had a list of like 10,000 of the most dangerous chemicals never thought of by man printed out for them the next morning. So it's dangerous. And it needs to be controlled by some. I don't believe in the FBI or the CIA or the American police. I think this whole system is completely broken. But there needs to be some kind of a board that can see what these companies are working on, how they're using AI, and make sure that they're not using it in a way that is so dangerous that we could end up with the Terminator scenario. So on that lovely thought, I'll leave you guys. I'll leave you guys this week. Owen, thanks for hanging out an extra whole hour and 7 minutes. SciFiction.com and SciFiction and everything they do. Everybody go check it out. Everybody, thanks for tuning in to Dangerous Thoughts this week. We'll see you next week with a brand new guest and a brand new rabbit hole. Bye-bye, everybody.
Peace and long life, all.